YouTube? CoolStoryBrobat here, bringing you Narrated Wi-Fi battle number 81. This battle was against a dude named CDevil on X and Y. I recorded it like 19 days ago. And, he's a passerby. He sent me a challenge, and I didn't have my team ready, but, I just EV'd a pincer. So I figured I'm going to slap 5 other Pokemon around that pincer and basically use it in its first battle. So I sent him a challenge after I built my team, and this is how it went. I really am kind of bummed out, and I really do not feel like pepping my narration up for this, because I've narrated this battle itself about 81 times over and over. In Camtasia Studio, the freaking thing keeps lagging during my narration. So you know what I had to do? I legit got this thing open in Windows Media Player, and I'm recording the screen while I'm watching it in Windows Media Player. I'm not even kidding you. I've gone to desk. I can't even do it inside Camtasia no more because it just lags out for no reason. So yeah, here it is, guys. Narrated Wi-Fi battle number 81. I don't feel like doing the team preview. I don't feel like reviewing it. Just know that Belly Drum Azumarill, especially defensive Rotom-Heat, physically defensive Ferrothorn with Stealth Rock and Spikes, Defog Infiltrator Crobat with Toxic, Swords Dance Mega Pinsir with Feint, because Feint has +2 priority and it's only slightly weaker than Quick Attack. It will save me against the Talonflame one day, and Life Orb Focus Energy Hydreigon, just cause. That's all I'm going to say about the teams, because I don't feel like saying the same thing over and over again 500 times. I've done it enough times as is. My patience is almost non-existent. So let's begin this, shall we, please? So anyway, he leads off with his Aggron. I lead off with my Azumarill, I believe. Yeah, I lead off with a Azumarill. And, turn 1, I could have set up a Belly Drum predicting him to do what he does here, but I wanted to play it safe because that would have been a major gamble, and I really don't like setting up on turn 1. He Mega Evolves his Aggron, and as I switch into Rotom-Heat, because, I don't want to take an attack from this thing, he makes the good play and just set up a Stealth Rock. I could have, like I said, I could have set up Belly Drum and I could have just demolished him from right there, but that would have been a pretty big risk, and he would have, and even though I would have been able to destroy his team, he would have, I don't know, that could have gone either way for real, but he makes a good play here. Switches out Mega Aggron and goes to Conkeldurr on a Will-O-Wisp. He probably wasn't predicting a Will-O-Wisp because Conkeldurr kind of checks Rotom-Heat anyway pretty nicely, but he has the Guts activated now, so this Conkeldurr is an immediate threat. I Volt Switch out of it, and I send in my Azumarill because I really have not much else to answer to this. I don't want to send in Crobat right away because it'll take some damage. So the Guts boosted knockoff does a pretty big amount to me. Even though in Belly Drum I ran Splash Plate because I don't know, weird I guess. I could have ran Citrus, but it's whatever. So he withdraws his Conkeldurr and he sends in his Aggron, just predicting me to go for the play rough, which I do go for. And fortunately, because Aqua Jet's the only water move I have on this thing, that means I run Super Power, which is able to do a respectable chunk to his Mega Aggron. It doesn't kill it, but that does a pretty decent amount for something with a big defense that has the ability Filter. I did a pretty nice hit, but he hits me with the Heavy Slam, and after the defense drop, that pretty much kills me. So Azumarill goes down, unable to sweep anything, got 0 kills, whatever. And I send in Hydreigon, Wither, and like I said, this is Focus Energy with Life Orb, but I run 3 attacks, and basically I go for the Fire Blast and kill off his Mega Aggron with little to no dispute whatsoever. So that's good for me because Mega Aggron was kind of annoying to my team for the most part. He sends in his Conkeldurr. I'm not going to be able to take a Guts boosted Mach Punch any day of the week with Hydreigon. So I send in Batwoman, my Crobat. This Crobat's probably going to be the one you see more often because unlike the other 2 I raised, this one has Infiltrator and Defog, which is good for clearing hazards. But I'm kind of not fond of this nickname, so I might change it for real. But I already have something in mind, so do not give me suggestions. Anyway, he withdraws his Conkeldurr and he sends in my Lotic. I could have gone for the Defog here, which is what I really should have done in hindsight, just to get rid of the hazards a turn earlier and take a little bit less risk. But I figured, if in whatever event he wanted to stay in, I got Brave Bat to kill it. If he switched out, which he was going to, I got free damage on whatever he sent in. But I did not see the Rocky Helmet my Lotic coming. That kind of hurt it a bit. So I go for Roost here, hoping he has Ice Beam and that he goes for it. because as long as I don't get a freeze hacks, which is kind of unlikely, then I don't got much to worry about. But he goes for recover himself here, which is fine by me because Brave Bat wasn't gonna really kill it again, so it's not like I over predicted or anything. And I go for the default, clearing out the hazards quickly as possible. Just get him out the way, get him out my face, you know how that goes. And now he goes for Confuse Ray, which kind of confuses me. I mean, it confuses me and the Crobat at the same time, because it's like, okay, why are you using Confuse Ray? What's the point? You know, you don't use Swagger on a Brobat, don't use Confuse Ray either. So I go for the Toxic on it, just put that thing on a death timer. And he goes for the Scald on me, and I'm hoping I don't get burned. Fortunately, I do not get burned. Fortunately, I do not get burnt at all. So, now that Crobat's kind of done its job for real, I don't really have any reason to keep it in, so I switch Batwoman out, and I go back to Wither because literally nothing else standing on my team really wants to take a Scald. I kind of didn't really factor that in, that my team hates bulky waters. So, basically, I get burned here switching in on the Scald, but it's alright though. The only thing is the Life Orb plus the burn damage really wears Hydreigon down badly. I mean, really wears it down badly. So I go for the Focus Energy. I'm setting it up because either go big or go home, right? Right? Go big or go home. Now, I did say I run Life Orb with Focus Energy, meaning I don't have a 100% chance of always getting critical hits. But when I do get the critical hits, it will freaking hurt like nothing you've ever experienced before. So I go for the Draco Meteor, and this is a sheer example of what I meant. Just observe this. Look at the power. Look at the force. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. That was a critical hit. Nuked his nuked his Milotic with little to no response from it. The Life Orb and the burn damage really leaves me in KO range though. And I mean, that wasn't really all too impressive, but you know, Milotic would have lived 9 times out of 10 if I didn't get the crit there. So, but then he sends in his Greninja, and he surprises me with the physical Greninja. I used to actually want to raise a physical Greninja for the longest. The only reason I never did was because Flying Gem doesn't exist in Gen 6. And even if they did make it, it would kind of suck because gems got nerfed to 1/3 boost instead of 50%. So, you know, it's whatever. Kills off my Hydreigon with Power Up Punch. I send in Batwoman. I got 200 speed EVs on this thing, so I can outrun Noivern, which is still faster than Greninja. So basically, he was fighting type, he died to Brave Bat. I was actually hoping he didn't do like a surprise Water Shuriken and get 5 hits. That would have upset me, but he doesn't, so Greninja goes down. He sends in Mamoswine here, and pretty much I'm not too worried about it because Rotom-Heat kind of counters this thing as long as it doesn't run Stone Edge. Like, you know, people run Freeze Dry Mamoswine to beat Rotom Wash, but you know, no one runs Stone Edge Mamoswine to beat Rotom-Heat. No one. So switching on the Ice Shore, take like next to nothing from that whatsoever. He switches out his Mamoswine, and he goes to his Goodra, which is actually a pretty solid check to my Rotom-Heat, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I Volt Switch expecting him to switch out, and the ironic part is I actually kind of wish I stayed in because I could have at least burned this thing. I could have at least burned the Goodra and let it get worn down a bit. So I sent in Batwoman, I guess, because I figure, you know what, Crobat's kind of done its job, so I figure I might as well just Toxic the Goodra and let it slowly die off. Because that would at least get some more reliable damage than just spamming Brave Bird. But then he freaking has Lumberry Goodra for no reason. I don't understand the reasoning. I don't understand. He goes for Dragon Breath, which is a weird move in itself. That's a bit obscure. Dragon Breath isn't really useful for real. It has a paralysis chance, but it's not really that useful. Let's be honest. I go for Roost, hoping he tries to Thunderbolt me. But he just Dragon Breaths again, and unfortunately, this time, he does not get the Paralysis hack, so it is fortunate, never mind. So I decide, but he withdraws his Goodra as I was about to go for another Toxic. And he sends in his Conkeldurr, which, you know, fine by me if you want to send that thing in. He sends it in to absorb the Toxic, he takes a round of damage from the burn, and this is where his whole tactic kind of falls apart, because now Crobat gets a free hit on something. It's like, you know, he sacks his Conkeldurr, I guess. I'm not sure why he did that. He literally had no reason to make that play. He could have gone to Mamoswine again. He could have just used some move other than Dragon Breath again. I don't know why he did that, but whatever, I guess. Because after he sacks his Conkeldurr, guess what he sends in again? Goodra. So it's like, what was the point? You could have definitely used that thing to take out something else on my team, but you know, whatever. So I go for the Toxic, poison his Goodra, and He Dragon Breaths again, but fortunately the Goodra's poison this time, so mission accomplished, and he does get the paralysis on me this time after about 3 uses of it, so it's whatever. Crobat, like I said, she did her job. Batwoman did her job. And I'm just gonna let it die now, because I really don't have much use for it anymore. And I'll let the toxic build up a bit, let it get an extra turn in. So it dies to the Dragon Breath, which I'm still confused at why you would use this move. And I mean, you at least have Dragon Pulse, you could have gone with that. So I send in Clutch, Mega Pinsir, and well, not Mega Pinsir, but regular Pinsir. About to go Mega Pinsir. Now I name it Clutch, because that's what it is. It's clutch, man. It's just so clutch. It just grips things in those pincers on its head and clutches them. And now I make a ballsy play here. I go for the Swords Dance. I'm thinking, okay, this dude's gonna switch out. He's not about it. But he goes for Flamethrower, and I'm like, crap. That did a lot. Oh my god, if he had Fire Blast, if he was real and used Fire Blast, that would have killed me. But I go for the return, and that kills off his Goodra. And like I said, I was lucky that he didn't have Fire Blast. But even if he did, I could have stalled out the rest of his team with Rotom by itself, so I really didn't care. I really didn't care for real. I go for Feint because, like I said, it's +2 priority, and at +2 that does like half to Mamoswine, which is not bad at all. So he goes for the Ice Shard and kills me. Feint went first, of course, and the phone's ringing, and we're gonna ignore it now for the time being. Send this Spike Lee, my Ferrothorn, and I'm just gonna finish off the Mamoswine with, after taking a Freeze Dry, which just like jacked at me. You should have just used Earthquake. And just finish it off with a Gyro Ball. And that pretty much kills his Mamoswine, no questions asked. And that is good game, CDevil. I might have to use this method of recording these Wi-Fi battles more often, because doing it at Camtasia, it just causes tremendous lag. That was vicious, that was uncool, that was, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and favorite. I have a lot of battles to catch up on. I'm severely backed up, so you might expect some more over the next couple days if I can get them in quick enough. Peace.